Alright, I guess we're finally live again. Alright guys, so thanks everybody for coming back to Angry Badger Minis. Been a rough week and a half, 2 weeks, but we're back. Long story short, school, finals, and we got about we start again on Monday. Anyway, really wouldn't change it for anything. I feel like we're making progress towards some good things here, so not too concerned about it. Did fairly well. But anyway, tonight I wanted to talk to you guys. I have been making some progress, been rearranging the game room, things like that, and then breaking out the chaos models and trying to figure out what we're gonna do. Got to get some shelving cut from Lowe's. Thought I was going to try out Etsy, so I delayed it, and come to find out it's more expensive on Etsy, which kind of stinks. I was actually kind of hopeful for that. But anyway, what I was going to talk about is my Chaos Terminators here. Now I have 2 boxes of the new Chaos Terminators. Sorry, I opened this up because I wanted to check out the heads on this. I have 2 boxes of these guys, and then I have my old school ones. Now these old school ones I had spent the majority of today, well I say the majority of today, I mean with the time I had available, thought you guys might like to see what I did to make them comparable to, say, the new Terminators, even the new Space Marine Terminators in size. Yeah, they're a tad bit shorter, okay, just a tad bit shorter than the other ones, okay, even if I line it up with the grid pattern, just a tad, okay. But to make them wide enough, all I needed to do was expand the arms, you know, give them more of a, you know, kinetic or dynamic pose, and then I filled it in with green stuff, and you know, all the way around, underneath and everything. Oops, sorry, you probably can't see that. Yeah, all the way around and underneath. I made it look like, you know, it was kind of the, you know, part of the, you know, the armor or what have you that goes with it. And I'm actually a lot happier with these than I was when I first pulled them out. I can't tell you, well, those of you that have been around a while, when you take a look at our old Terminators, like this is the old Space Marine Terminator. Hold on a second here. When you put the arms on, everything is just so tight right there if you put it on the way they want you to. And he looks super small. But if you go ahead and do like I did, you get that bulk, or at least the appearance of the bulk. And I'm not done with these guys. I'm going to put some chains on them and probably some tabards and stuff. The tabards will be painted up like this Dark Eldar guy right here. Whoops, what the heck was that? Oh, that was a Titan arm piece. My gosh, come on already. Anyway, like this, you know, you see that tabard that I got in on him, and then if you take a look at his flag, you know, and then even his pistol holster, I did it like it's, you know, old flayed skin, and that's what I plan on doing with these guys. You know, at some point, basically to cover up how much skinnier their legs are compared to the new Terminators, and it will help immensely. I did not like for some reason all of my Terminators, and I don't know why. I don't remember the story behind how I even acquired these, to be honest with you. And I almost feel like back in the day, these guys, these out of print models had, you know, the Terminator helmet like this with tusks on them. And for some reason I thought I didn't like that, maybe. I think this is what happened. And then I traded for these heads here that, I don't know if you guys can make that out, but it's basically just, yeah, there we go. Just a head with a little bit of a mask over it, you know, and that's it. So I have 6 Terminators and I have 6 heads just like it. Well, I don't like those heads anymore. So it took some work, believe it or not, to get them out. But I was able to get them out, and I went on eBay today, and I'm not sure, I guess maybe they'll be here in a few days. They're coming from Texas. I bought some some Chaos Terminator helmets. I don't think that they're like these of the new set. I'm sorry, you know, like these of the new set. I think that they're a little bit different. Well, I know they're a little bit different. Matter of fact, the champion, if you will, or the sergeant, if you will, is going to have a considerably different helmet than what these guys come with. I'm also not liking the fact that of the helmet choices they give you in this box set, or lack thereof. You have one head that's similar to the face head, you know, that I don't really like, and then you have a rhinoceros type thing. Let me see. So here's the face, which this one's not too bad. The other one, it just seems so busy and so small that you would lose the actual skin and head. I don't even know if it's possible to bring that kind of focus to it. And then if you look at, I don't know if you can make this out, but that rhinoceros head on that Terminator's helmet. It's not bad, but it kind of ruins the fact that it's a Terminator helmet. You know, that iconic feel, if you will. So anyway, what I was doing, you can see I was messing around here. I wanted to see if, you know, these helmets, and I probably should have did this before I ordered them, were going to actually work on, you know, on these models. And I would say that they will. There just needs to be some adjustment. Either I need to cut off the back of these, which I'm thinking I don't want to do. I think I'll just get a drill and I'll drill into this to make more of an opening so that these can slide in like they're supposed to. And then that will put the helmet, you know, and it won't take much, but that'll put the helmet basically where it needs to be. And then these guys will be, you know, other than the decorations, will be fit for battle. And of course, we put them on the 40mm bases. And I am completely or more impressed by them than I was when I pulled them out of the box that I found them in. That also being said, because these are the old models, and you guys feel free to correct me, I don't remember. I remember that every one of these models looked like this Reaper autocannon, okay? And I remember that getting a Stormbolter, I don't even know if Stormbolters existed, to be honest with you. I just don't remember what the case was. I mean, I know they existed, but I mean, I don't know if you, I guess you just couldn't find the model with them. So what I did was, I guess at some point, I bought, I guess they were all Reaper autocannons, and then I just cut it down and cut it off and made, this is my Chaos Stormbolter basically from, you know, this Reaper autocannon. And I guess, you know, if you really wanted to, you could do something else to it. You know, I've already thought about it, you know, or I could have like a heavy flamer or, you know, something. I don't know what all their weapon options are. But like I said, I'm really impressed with how they look now. I'm actually pretty proud of them, as, you know, bulky as they look, having their arms kicked out like that. And it's just a simple modification, you know, simple little, you know, green stuff. You don't even have to be super skilled to do this. And so it's something that maybe some of you guys might want to consider, you know, down the road. Because like something else I have over here, I've got all these old metal models over here. I have these Chaos Obliterators, out of print Chaos Obliterators. And as you can tell, these dudes are considerably smaller, or pretty damn small compared to the Terminators. And the ones that they have now, oh, and the heads are just dumb. Here, let me break this bad boy out for you guys to show you what I'm talking about. I only have two of them, which I could easily fix by making another one, but I don't know that it's worth it, to be honest with you. I mean, and as you can tell, this is, you know, it came with the old 25mm base. But, you know, here's this dude. I mean, the face just looks dumb to me. I mean, it's got a smirk or something on it. I don't like it. You know, the legs are, well, I guess looking at the Terminator, it's not I guess it's about the size of a Terminator. Okay, I guess I just really wasn't looking at it that way. But I'm also not looking at it from just the arm standpoint. I mean, this looks just hideous, man. It's just dumb. So, yeah, I mean, when you put this on there, you know, just put him next to Terminator, he does not look remotely large at all. And it's just dumb. So I think what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to throw out the arms, or the weapons rather, but I'm going to make my own arms, and I have plenty of extra Terminator shoulder pads from the new Terminators and stuff, from Blood Angels and Dark Angels and all that kind of stuff. And then what I think I'm going to do is I may drill this dude's head out and see if I can't find something else that's a little more in pain, if that makes sense, or even just more helmeted or whatever. And I'm going to use these guys to really try my hand at, you know, making them larger. I may even cut him in half right here and make him larger, like bigger. There's enough spots on here. It looks like I could potentially cut his legs right at the kneecaps, no problems. Cut him at the waist, and then I can make him larger with skeleton, and then turn around and green stuff this dude into a more grotesque guy that, you know, to what an obliterator typically looks like now. And I've got enough weapon systems and stuff that if I really want to go larger, I can. I mean, this just looks so small. It's just not worth it to me. I mean, but at the same time, I'm kind of, you know, I don't want to sit there and just throw the model out. I mean, it's, you know, who knows what it cost back in the day when I bought it. I mean, just, I don't even remember. Hold on, maybe it's on the box. It says $7.49 USA, $9 Canada on here. I don't think that's what I bought it for. That's amazing though, isn't it? I mean, there you have, I mean, looking at, and that's going to bring me to my next point that I actually forgot I was going to talk about. Oh man, I'm sure some of you guys have already seen it, and I'll retitle this video or whatever, but you've got, man, what the hell is Games Workshop doing? You know, and I'm not trying to piggyback off anybody. I'm no, you know, big YouTuber or nothing. I mean, I'm just me. I'm not trying to steal anybody's limelight or anything like that. But here's the thing, man. And for those of you who don't know, I mean, the guy didn't even know me. You know, I mean, I've contributed to his chat and stuff like that in the past. But Chapter Master Valrak, you know, if you guys pray, keep him in your prayers. Dude's got corona. Saw his video today. And I'm right in line with him. I mean, you know, this... I mean, he said it right, falling out of love for the hobby. It's gotten to the point that I'm very blessed to have the models that I have, okay? And I have more than any one person should ever own, probably. But I can tell you that I'm right now, like, just, I'm not buying anything else from Games Workshop. I'm done. These price hikes are out of freaking control. It's the stupidest thing in the world. And of course, you know, stockholders, blah, you know, economists, blah blah. Oh, you don't understand. No, we understand. We understand that you're greedy sons of bitches. And you know, now a Land Raider. You know what? I don't even know what it cost. I didn't even look today. I'm gonna go ahead and look. My understanding is things went up considerably, like 3,000 items or something like that. Let me look real quick. I know when I bought Land Raiders, they were about $50 tops, I think. And now we're gonna find out. Games Workshop. Let's see here. Move this out of the way. OBS updated, so things are a little weird right now for that. Let me get a blade capture going here. No. Y'all don't want to see all that crap. So I'm gonna remove that real quick. Let's get a window capture. Yeah, there we go. That's a little more like it. All right, let's look at this here. Let me get this going. Let's try to maximize our window space here. All right, Land Raider, $85. Land Raider Crusader, 110. Slash Land Raider Redeemer, 110. And I mean, you know, some of this stuff doesn't even make sense. I mean, look at this, dude, okay? If you took a look at the Chaos Land Raider, right? I would tell anyone, if you want to buy a Land Raider, buy this one. You know why? Because you're going to get a lot more little gadgets, you know, and things like that with the same chassis and the same everything. For the same amount of money. And if you don't even use the stuff, it's fine. Use it for broken Chaos parts or whatever. You know, yeah, okay, you got a Chaos Space Marine up here, but I mean, if you're buying a Land Raider, you're probably the guy that has a ton of extra Space Marine parts. You can make him into a Space Marine. But the point is, here's something that's the same price as a normal Land Raider. Okay? Same price as the freaking Custodes. What the heck? What the heck just happened here? Oh my gosh. I guess it just doesn't want to let me go just backwards. But anyway, you know, same price as a Custodes Land Raider, but you get all this extra stuff, you know, and it just, I don't know, it kills me, man. I mean, we're killing ourselves here. We're pricing people out of the hobby. We are not going to be able to sustain this because people are looking at going, dude, it's too expensive to get in. You know, they just released the new Tyranid box set, or they're releasing the Tyranid box set with the new codex and stuff, and it's got a new Tyranid model in it. The first thing that popped out of my mouth right in front of my wife was, man, I'm glad I have a bunch of Hive Tyrants, because then I can kit bash them and turn them right into, you know, this new whatever this parasitic thing is. And that's, you know, and that's another thing. Hold on, let me pull this up for you guys. Where are you? This house, and these rules, you know, they're just dumb. I'm gonna say it, they're dumb. And you don't have to agree with me, but it in my opinion, it's just really dumb. So let me pull this up here. Let me change this here so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Working. I tell you, man, this is the kind of stuff that irritates me sometimes. Alright. It's definitely not working. Alright, anyway, I'm not going to waste your time trying to figure this out, but I'm going to read it to you. So, the Parasite of Mortrix. Stats: 16 inches of movement, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 5, toughness 5, 6 wounds, 6 attacks, leadership 8, saving plus 4, or save a 4 plus. The parasite's clawed limbs can rip enemies to shreds, but just wait until you see what it can do with its barbed ovipositor. If I'm saying that right, ovipositor, similar I guess to the gene stealers. That's the pointy bit it uses to lay eggs, just in case you're not familiar. Okay, so I think I've said this before. Here we are. What is the definition of invulnerable? You know what I'm saying? Do you guys see where I'm going with this? What is the definition of invulnerable? But here we have things that are going to, well, we already have things that totally ignore invulnerable saves. Then what is the point of even having it? Okay? It makes 0 sense. So you pay a few points here and there so that this guy gets a possible second chance at not dying, you know, or a better chance at not dying. Yet we're gonna make guns, we're gonna make creatures, we're gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that this guy or whatever suffers a mortal wound. You know, and it'd be one thing if you told me that it would kill the person outright. No, it removes 1 mortal wound, or it removes, you know, 2 mortal wounds or something like that. When I think of that kind of thing, I'm thinking of a Titan-sized model or unit. Crushing, okay? Crushing. Not one model, but many in a unit, okay? Let alone their weapon systems. Anyway, Parasitic Infection. This is his ability here. Range is melee, type melee, strength +1. So he's gonna need, let's see, against a Space Marine, he's gonna need a 4 or better to wound. No, I'm sorry, 3 or better to wound. AP -1, so the Space Marine's gonna have a 4+ save. And damage 1. Parasitic Infection. Each time the bearer fights, it makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. So now it's 7 attacks, okay? And no more than 1 attack can be made with this weapon while resolving that fight. Wait a minute. It makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. And no more than 1 attack. Okay. Alright, then maybe I'm misunderstanding it. It's saying they get to make an additional attack with this weapon only, with no more than 1 attack that can be made with this weapon while resolving the fight. Okay, so you get 6 normal attacks, and then he stabs you with his tail or whatever. Alright. Each time an attack made with this weapon successfully wounds an enemy unit, excluding vehicle units, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound in addition to any normal damage and becomes infected with parasites at the start of your opponent's command phase. For each enemy unit that is infected with parasites, your opponent must roll 1d6. On a 1 to 3, the unit being rolled for suffers d3 mortal wounds and is no longer infected with parasites. On a 4 to 6, that unit being rolled for suffers d3 mortal wounds and remains infected with parasites. Alright, so you get 1 attack. You're attacking 1 guy. But yet the whole unit is... Who wrote this crap? I love Tyranids. But this is bullshit. Okay? This is dumb. So I guess he stabs a Space Marine. And the Space Marine's, you know, biophysiology, his armor, and everything else are going to be trying to combat these parasites. But somehow they spread to the rest of the guys in the unit, especially when they're 2 inches, you know, away, which is the equivalent, you know, of roughly 6 feet. I mean, hell no, it's even longer than that. What am I thinking? It's about 10 feet because Space Marine is, a normal Space Marine is 1.5 inches long or tall from the top of the base. And they're supposed to be about 7 foot tall. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, I was close. 7-8 feet. So just... Oh my god. Anyway, If that unit suffers 2 or more mortal wounds as a result of this ability this phase, set up a new friendly High Fleet Ripper Swarm unit on the battlefield within 3 inches of that unit and not within engagement range of any enemy units. That Ripper Swarms unit contains 1 model, and if you are playing a game that uses a points limit, does not cost any reinforcement points. Okay. I don't really have a problem with that part, except they're not saying if the guy dies or not. They're also not putting in here that if you can't put the Ripper Swarm there physically, that it can't be placed, you know, like everything else. Then you have this. It itches. While a unit is infected with parasites, it loses the objective secured ability. Guys, oh my god, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't. It's like, I think I've said this. Oh, I know I've said this before. All they're doing is building models or model profiles to sell. That's all. Not for balance of the game. Not to get more people into the hobby, no matter what they think that they say they're doing. This is ludicrous. This is the stupidest shit I have ever even heard of. I mean, there's no creativity in this bullshit, in this writing. 0. And it's hard enough to find someone to play with. Okay? Let alone the ones that you end up playing with that are just, you know, morons. And I'm calling them morons because, you know, for them, there's no such thing as having fun. And you got your rules Nazis, you got, you know, or rules lawyers, whatever you want to call it. You got all your freaking, you know, lore experts that if you don't know the lore as well as they do, you don't paint your models right, whatever. You know, it's just dumb. And you guys know what I'm talking about. I mean, again, if you've been watching this channel, I haven't played in forever. And the little bit that I have played has been on Tabletop Simulator, and now we're basically doing our own thing. You know, me and the guy we're playing. Activation turns. Hold on a second. If you guys were chatting, I apologize. Apparently everything reset on me. Let me get my restream thing up here. So if you're watching and you were chatting, by all means send me another message, because I definitely didn't get it. I guess it just doesn't come through like that. But I mean, the amount of money that it takes to get into this game now is counterproductive, counterintuitive to the intent. It's just stupid. And then you wonder why people want to go to 3D printing, or why they want to, you know, do recasts. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to sell them. But I don't feel guilty about this. Not in the slightest. One, you stopped making the models, so there's that. So all you did was make it easier for me. 2, you're not making what everybody wants. The Cadian upgrade kit, I believe, mostly was just a few weapons and some stupid, you know, heads or whatever. You know, I get it. It's their market. It's their way of doing shit, you know. Capitalism, blah, blah, blah. Well, like I said, I mean, I'm not done with 40K as 40K. I love the lore, whatever. But this just made it so much more easier for me to continue to push to get better at casting. Again, I'm not selling this stuff. It's just for me here at home. And to move on to other rule systems. I mean, again, if you're new to the channel, I came in during 3rd edition. Okay. I believe you could get into the game as a whole. And when I mean get into the game, I mean the rule book. I got it all right here still. The rule book, 20 Dark Eldar, 10 tactical space marines, a land speeder, a couple pieces of terrain, your rulers, your dice, your templates. The book had basically a mini codex, if you will, for each army. I mean, everybody, orcs, Eldar, everybody. And you could get started. And I think, what was it, $80? I think it was $80 for the box set, 3rd edition box set. And that's a big rule book, you know, thick rule book. Matter of fact, I think I got 3 copies of that rule book. I'm not gonna dig that out, but you guys get the picture. And then we moved to really good things like, you know, further on box sets, you started getting not only the big rule book, but you got a little tiny book, you know, or I say tiny, but a little book you could, you know, a travel book you could take with you and stuff. You know, instead of having to tear up your nice rule book and highlight it and poke holes in the pages and put it in a binder and all that kind of stuff. I mean, guys went crazy going to, you know, Office Depot type stores and stuff and getting it spiral bound and everything. And, you know, they put all this extra money and work into it. And it was like, you know, why are people having to do this when we could just make this little book? You know, and the book was almost, if I'm not mistaken, it was almost exactly like the main rule book, to include art, lore, you know, at least some lore. It was the perfect recruiting tool for anyone that stopped by and said, man, what's this? And you can hand that book over to them, because we did in the club that I ran, hand the book over to them and say, here you go, man, check this out, you know. And here they got something tangible in their hand to look at, you know, and you know, and understand what's going on. And now we're just going through the roof with prices. We're making things, you know, it's all the whole as the kids say today, kids, 'cause I'm an old idiot, FOMO, you know, fear of missing out, for those of you who don't know what that means. That is not, in my opinion, honest way of doing business. It's not. I run a small business. We don't make a lot of money. It's just basically something I'm doing out of my backyard, if you will, on my property for shooting and things like that. And I had somebody call me today, and they've been customers for a long time, but they haven't been here in a while. And they asked me what the price, you know, is our prices still the same at $40 for a round of 100 clays? And I said yes, and they seemed shocked because of what's going on with the economy, the world stage, all this kind of stuff. Because in my mind, I'm not going to turn around, you know, and pass, if I can, and pass on my cost to the customer unless I have to. And some of you can say, well, that's what you do. That's, you know, that's good business. You know, otherwise you're the one that loses. I'm not losing unless I'm losing money. Like, you know, I'm not making any profit. You know, or I can't keep up with my expenses or that kind of thing. I don't think I'm just not, I guess I'm just not that greedy. And that's really what, in my opinion, what it boils down to. But it's, you know, it just blows my mind that it, you know, and I get it. Believe me, I've been in board meetings before and heard the whole argument about everything. There's another different type of obliterator. You know, the whole, oh man, people who think, you know, like I'm talking about right now, they're the losers in life. They don't understand, you know, what's going on. No, we understand. We just don't choose to live like a complete scumbag like you people, you know. And, you know, here's the thing. I know I'm ranting here after I haven't been back for a while, but here's the thing. What it boils down to is you're still, I mean, when you die, you can't take it with you. Well, I can give it to my children. Oh, okay. So they can grow up to be scumbags just like the rest of you. It's, you know, it is what it is. Oh yeah, here's the face I was trying to talk to you guys about. Look how stupid that is. It's just dumb. He's got these two freaking things poking out of his eye and everything. You know, it's kind of Borgish in a way, and who knows, maybe that's where they designed it from, but these are the only two Obliterators I own. Now, back in the day, everybody wanted their hands on these things, and, you know, I can't blame them. I mean, I bought two just because. Ooh, excuse me. Now, this guy's got kind of a cool setup here. He's got two. You know what? That might be the ticket. Maybe I will take his arms and duplicate them and kick them out like I did for those guys instead of using these arms, and then put green stuff on top of that. Let's just see how this works out, how wide he gets. Yeah, that could work. And then we'll just do something to try to replace the head or make it look a little more grotesque. And I can't see these Obliterators having the wherewithal to put skulls mounted on top and stuff like that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. How's this arm look here? I don't need to necessarily replace the whole body or
Pearl
anything.
Harbor. 3rd ed Obliterators.
Yes, sir. Yes, they are. 3rd edition. Just trying to, between these guys and my 3rd edition Terminators, I'm looking at trying to do some, you know, just do something to make them a little bigger and a little more grotesque or what have you. So, but, and maybe I can, like I said, I'm pretty sure, I mean, I could cast these arms. That's no big hell. I don't even need to make a mold for that, really. I just use this Insta-mold. By the way, if you guys have never seen this stuff, you should buy some. Just heat it up in a pot of hot water. Stick your thing down in it. And then fill it in afterwards. And then you've got what you need. I mean, it works like a charm. I have a ton of this stuff. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think these guns are a little ridiculous. But what I could do with these is I could mount them higher or something. You know, kind of like the current Obliterators are. So, yeah. And thank you for chatting, man. Appreciate that. I am curious why you're all blurred out, though. Good thing the thing was talking to me, right? No, now it's not. Okay. I think it's Windows 10.
Pearl Harbor. I recently stretched out some of the 4th edition Obliterators. They look fine now they aren't crouching. Smiley face.
Right on. Yeah, I think what I'll probably do to make these guys larger, like I said earlier, I'm not sure when you got on the chat, is I'll probably cut them off at the knees and then make a cut at the waist so I can make them even bigger. So that way they're bigger than the Terminators as well, which would make more sense. And then there's plenty of extra guns and things like that I have that I can turn around and, you know, do some things to. I'm not really attached to these like, oh God, I'm going to ruin the model. You know, I'm just not. And this guy right here, he could probably, he would, if I really wanted 3, I don't know if 3 is optimal or what, you know, what it is you really need. But I could definitely, you know, he'd be the easiest one to copy. So, and I mean, as you guys can see, you know, when you're able to do it with Imperial Guard, I mean, this guy, you know, he's going to be nothing to do that with. So, but, yeah, so that's what we're working on. You know, we made these, you know, 3rd edition out of print Terminators bigger, or, you know, stretch their arms out. We'll put it that way. And now they have the appearance of being bigger, plus on the 40mm base. And when the heads come in that I want here in a couple of days, they're going to be legit. And we'll put some chains on them. And again, for Surly Harbor, just because you may not have been here. I don't expect you to go back. If you take a look at this Dark Eldar model, little 3rd edition Dark Eldar model, the tabard that I put on there, his little flag and stuff, and even his pistol holster there, it's all, I did it like it was, you know, flayed skin that had, you know, aged. And so I'll put some of that kind of stuff on these guys, as well as some chains and things, and we'll get rocking with that. But we have, oh my gosh, do we have so many Chaos models.
Pearl Harbor. Nice. I have a 3rd ed Dark Eldar army. all with the plume helmets.
Right on. Yeah, so I believe it or not, this whole project of this guy, I was trying to teach my adopted son. I gave him, man, I don't even know how many 3rd edition Dark Eldar models we have, or that I have, because he's on his own now, doing his own thing as an adult, and he didn't really fall into 40K, and that's fine. But I gave him all these, and he just couldn't seem to figure out what he wanted to do. I don't think he really liked them, because about the time that I gave him, I think that's when the new ones came out. And that's fine, but he was like, you know, I can't see how you can really paint him in any good scheme. And so I think I literally did this model, all of it. The skull, the adding a little blade up top here, and the paperclip banner and all that kind of stuff. I think I did all of this in like 30 minutes. Just real quick. No, I didn't have any plan. I just threw it together, and even did like I didn't have any washes or anything. I just did a brown acrylic paint watered down and just over the top of it. And he was like, I can't believe you can do that. And I'm like, yeah, man, we can do anything. But it just wasn't his cup of tea, and I wasn't gonna force him into it. But I have, my gosh, man, I've got so many freaking. I've got an entire army sitting over here of old 3rd edition out of print Plague Marines. What we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes of 7 Plague Marines. The metal ones, and 3 boxes of Havocs. We've got an old out of print Typhus right here. We got this thing, Spawn of Chaos, that took me forever to find. Might be something that I actually try to copy, because I really like this model. And then we got the Land Raiders that I copied. If you're on Twitch there, but if you look back, Sir Harbor, you can see where I copied an entire Land Raider. Matter of fact, I don't think. Shoot, I left them downstairs. Literally the Land Raider parts all work. I'm trying to think how maybe I could. Wait a minute, hold on. I might have the pictures on.
Searle Harbor. My loft conversion is full of old 40K LOL. 3rd/4th edition chaos is my jam. Love the 1DS stuff. I must have 4 of those Demon Princes LOL.
Yeah. Well, I don't. But that was a good Demon Prince, I can tell you that. I've got. I think the Demon Princes that I have are newer. And the only demon that I have from back then is the old Nurgle model. But I've never had a Chaos army put together. They've just sat in boxes, and I just never had time to get to them. Let me see if I feel like I have pictures here from the Land Raiders. Yes, I do. Okay, so let me see if I can. I'm gonna try to save these real quick, or save this one picture, and then I'll post it up for you guys, because I did complete them. I have 4 more to make, but it is what it is. Let's see here, and of course they're not painted, but that's okay. Let's see this image. Where are you? Did it not save it? What the heck, over? Save image. Desktop. I guess maybe it didn't. Maybe I hit cancel by accident. No, it says it's in there. Why is it not showing up? Why are things so annoying? I tell you, you just can't seem to win sometimes. Here we go, all files. That's probably why. Alright, where are you? There you are, Landrator. That does not seem to be working. Oh, there it is. Super large too. Whoops. Hold on, hold on. You can see my Titan's feet in the background there. We're getting there. I didn't realize the picture was this large. There we go. Outstanding. Alright, so there they are. And yes, the sponsons work. They move back and forth and all that. Now the heavy bolters on here do not pivot up and down, and they do not pivot right to left, but they're not on there permanently right now because I want to be able to paint around them. But this is a solid print, or print. It's not a print. I casted it. And like I said, you can go back and take a look at my other videos, and you'll see part 1 and part 2 of the Landrator cast. But here you have 2 legit Landraiders, and before anybody says anything, okay, yes, I put the las cannons, however you want to say it, up here on the front. And the reason I do that is I think it's completely stupid for this Landraider to show up, completely, for the most part, disarm itself by having to shut these down while Terminators get out in front of it.
Very clean casts, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm super impressed. Now I will tell you, this one on the left here, I'm sorry, on the right, that thing, you could kill someone with it. It's it's a solid chunk of plastic, and it weighs probably 5-6 pounds easy. It's amazing how much that stuff weighs. And then the one on the left is the second one, and I was able to fill in, once I did a small layer inside of plastic, I was able to fill the rest of it in mostly with foam, like your foam insulation, and then I went ahead and poured the rest around it, and it dropped the weight by at least 50%. So so now it weighs just a little bit heavier than a normal Landraider. So super happy with that. But anyway, so yeah, that's the, we'll say, pseudo progress. Oh, I got something else I got by sheer chance.
Searles Harbor. Great idea to save on resin and cut weight.
Yeah, it was I mean, don't get me wrong, the smooth on plastic that I use, it's not overly expensive. You get, you know, part A and part B, which is 2 gallons, you know, I think for $163. And what did I use? I think I used the combined measurement was, let's see, maybe 4 cups. No, a little less than 4 cups on the second one out of 2 gallons. So, I mean, that's a deal, especially when they're $85 a piece right now. But what I was going to show you guys is I was on Twitter, and some of the guys I follow, whatever, came across this just out of nowhere. He had this right here, this McFarlane Gene Stealer. And for any, you know, especially if you're new to the channel, everybody knows how much I love Space Marines and Gene Stealers, the whole Space Hulk, anything. And then, so I didn't even know that this was released. So then I went on McFarlane's site, saw it was released, went to look for it, found it on Amazon, super cheap. And they also had this, how do you say it? Yamarl, or maybe I don't know. Is the M silent or is the G silent? That's the crazy part. Or is it all freaking silent? I don't know. Anyway, they had this artist proof here. I wish it would have been the Gene Stealer here. But I had the bright idea that, you know, because I have, you know, some of the, I have some of the Primaris Marines that they made as well. and a sister. Yeah, I have Sisters of Battle, a couple Sisters of Battle artist proofs. I think, judging by the way these arms are, and then having seen other people take their Space Marines apart and stuff, that I could potentially make casts of these guys and basically have a bigger Inquisitor model, if you will, from back in the day. I have the old Inquisitor, Artemis Space Marine, and Gene Stealer, one of each. And thinking about how heavy that Land Raider was, these might be pretty heavy. So, but it'd be a pretty cool thing to print, or whatever. I guess we can call it printing. Yeah, I was so cool. I mean, so glad, and I got them in like a day. They were both on Amazon. I think I got them both for like maybe $30 a piece or something like that. Not super expensive. Whereas I think right now the Primaris Marine is going for $70, $80, something like that. And you can't even get the Intercessor anymore with the bolt rifle. You can only get the Hellblaster, I think. I don't know. I'm sure you could find the Intercessor somewhere, but it's gonna be expensive. But yeah, I'm actually really impressed by what I was able to pull off here with these guys. It to make them look better for me, because now I'm sort of excited. And these guys, they're going to be part of the Black Legion, I think. I've got a bunch of the new. I'm actually making a mold right now. It might even be done. I don't know. But I'm making a mold right now of. If you remember the Dark Vengeance box sets, the Chaos Marines in there, I'm making a mold of them, or a few of them, to see if I can, make it worth my while to print or cast a bunch of those. And if it works out, I may move them over to this instead of using all these old out of print Plague Marines. Instead, I don't know.
Searle Harbor. Do you have a second Ed Chaos Dread?
Man, I had one, and long story short, my ex-wife, long time ago, destroyed it. So, and I mean, you may say, how in the world could you do that? It was solid metal for the most part, except for the arms. You're right, but besides, breaking it, bending some of the stuff with the vehicle, and then tossing it into the ocean when you weren't home and you were at work. Yeah, that's pretty much why I don't have one anymore. I remember the only thing that survived that, and I guess I'm trying
Searle
to
Harbor.
Yeah, it was. Oh boy, I mean, that whole thing was a nightmare. I'm just glad I didn't have children with her. But yeah, I lost a lot of models that day, broken, thrown away, all kinds of stuff. But that was her loss, because whatever. The only thing that survived was, and I may still have it around somewhere, is the old Chaos Dread plasma cannon. And I remember, if I remember correctly, it's the only plasma cannon that was made at the time. So if you wanted to use it, even though there was rules for the Space Marine Dreadnought to have a plasma cannon, I never saw one that existed until they came out with the plastic kit. So you had to use that one, and it looked so bad, putting it on there. But matter of fact, I bet it's up in that bits box up there. I feel like I saw it a little while. You know what? Hold on a second. I'm gonna grab it, man. I'm pretty sure it's right up there. Let's see. Where are you? Where are my bits boxes? I know it's up here. Maybe I took it downstairs. Yeah, maybe I took it downstairs. I had 2 bits boxes I was working out of the other day for these older models, and I know I have it. I'd never throw it away, but I guess I took them downstairs. Oh well. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to get going with these guys, and I think they'll tie in with the newer Abaddon. But I don't have the old Abaddon model, but I think these guys will tie in just fine. And I only glued down like the 1 foot barely, so that way I can go back and do some basing to these guys and maybe hoist them up a little bit higher or whatever. I just haven't decided yet because hold on a second, I have these. I have these that I want to make copies of as well for my Space Hulk board. And this might, you know, I think it'll bring character to not only my Gene Stealer cult, stuff like that, but I think it'll bring character to these models as well. And it'll kind of hide how old they are, I guess, in a way. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. And I have a ton of these anyway. But I do want to make my own cast of these. And I don't know, maybe I can do like some steps or some rubble or something like that, and just, you know, maybe they're not all higher, but just a couple of them, or maybe the champion, you know, the guy that, where is he? The one guy that's got this, hold on, I'll show you, you know, this one little horn sticking out. And I'm thinking about making something else for him to really make him stand out. I mean, I've already got a helmet. The helmet that he's got coming is going to make him stand out for sure. But yeah, I mean, I mean, I'm just disillusioned at what GW is doing these days. I don't know if you got in on the channel on that end there, Harbor, but they're pricing people out of the hobby. It's not right, in my opinion. And I mean, it's their show, but the amount of models that I have, I mean, thousands. I'm done. I'm done buying. I'll just, you know, make what I have, play with the rules that I want to play with. You know, 1-page rules has some good stuff going. I like I started playing activation sets instead, which, you know, I played with a long time ago with one friend of mine, and it was a lot more fun because you're not standing around waiting forever. But I have a feeling in 10th edition they're going to move to activation, because a lot of people are doing that, and a lot of the rule sets out there for various games are doing that as well. So I think they're going to do something like that. I don't know if I think it'll be more for, they may say it's something you can agree upon with your opponent. It might be for narrative play or campaign play, and maybe they'll steer away from it for competitive play or match play, but I don't know. I mean, I don't want to hate on anybody that's a competitive player, but I think the competition scene
Searle Harbor. I have more models than I could ever paint, but I have a printer too, so yeah, smiley face, activations? Like bolt action?
So I haven't got a chance to play bolt action yet, but yeah, I believe when I say activations, simply like this. So, you know, here's my unit, here's your unit, here's my unit, here's your unit, and it's my turn. So I move and do, you know, shoot with this guy. If you're in range, if you go on my channel and look back at the last tabletop simulator game I played, we did it exactly like that. So anything that that one unit could do in that turn, when you activated them, whether it was move, shoot, and charge and fight, then they could do that. And then these guys could, of course, if they were in a charge or in a fight, then they could fight back and it didn't count against them or anything like that. And then they could do whatever they wanted to. But then in your turn, you know, I've only moved the one unit. Now it's your turn. You can do whatever you want. And I think that what it does is it really takes out the whole, oh man, this guy bought the most powerful thing in the world. And I'm not hating on that. I mean, you buy the model. I mean, it's yours. I mean, you should be able to play with it. But it takes out the whole wipe a guy off the board in the first turn nonsense. Because, yeah, okay.
Searle Harbor.
Yes.
Helps negate alpha strikes.
Yep, exactly it. That's what I mean. And I couldn't think of the terms. I'm like half awake right now. But that's exactly it. Yeah. And I think it makes the game more fair. I think it brings back real tactics. not, you know, this other nonsense that's going on. And I think stratagems and stuff like that I think they're just a money-making scheme. I'm not going to say it doesn't work, because I have a ton of cards and stuff that I'm never going to use. And you say you have more models than you could ever paint. Man, let me tell you, you should go on my YouTube channel, because it's not on Twitch, and look at the very first video that I posted, and you will see what my journey is to put all my stuff together. I'm not a scalper. I don't. I just, over the years, kept thinking, you know, I'm gonna be able to do this. I'm gonna be able to do it. And I was in the military, so between deploying and stuff, just never got around to it. And then trying to get, you know, the best deals and things like that, you know, it just accumulated stuff. I mean, one of the greatest accomplishments I have so far is all of the models that I have put together as of late. I mean, the entire Orc army takes up an entire IKEA Detolf case, and not just the 4 shelves they give you. I've got extra shelves in there. It's massive, and I've got more works coming because I bought the Imperium magazine thing. I'll have some Chaos Marines as well. I think some more Tau, some, what is it, Adeptus Mechanicus, Primarit. Jesus, I have, oh gosh, what is that box set called? The one right before Indominus, the one with the Plague Marines, or Death Guard and the Primaris. I think it was the first box set for Primaris, if I'm not mistaken. I have, is it 12 boxes of those? Or 15? I don't know. But I have a ton of freaking, I mean, it's on my phone, which I'm using as my camera right now, but I have a ton of Primaris. I have 8.
Cyril Harbor. I'm watching it now. That's a lot of 40K. Hahaha, love that big Terminator, both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, the damn Terminators are as big as my kids. My little ones. Yeah, it's crazy. I just can't believe I mean, I was on pre-order for that for 2 years, and they only charged my credit card one time, but they sent me 2. So now I just got to figure out what in the world I'm going to do with 2 of them, where they're going to go, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's, man, and you don't even see. I don't even know if I even showed everything, because I have, like, I'm not a big fantasy player or Age of Sigmar guy or nothing like that, but I have an entire, I don't know what you call them, is it Caradons or something like that? The dwarves that fly around in the steampunk type, you know, ships and stuff. I have a massive army of them that need to be put together. I've got 2 of those big Titans that you saw, probably. I think I showed the Necron Titan my wife and I made, my new wife, the only wife that matters. We made that together from scratch out of Necron stuff. That's a complete kit bash. I have so much urban city terrain. It's, man, I don't even know. And it's not even going to stop there, because I must have bought this off of eBay. I bought these panels that are easily, I don't know, probably about this long by about this wide, and they're like for some kind of chapel building or something. So I'm going to make casts of those, because I want buildings that are as big as my Titans, if not a little bit bigger, so it looks like the Titans are walking in and amongst stuff that's bigger than they are, like, you know, a big giant hive city. We have 28 feet of floor space that I can play at
Cyril
battle.
Harbor. That Necron Titan looks like the artwork of the Tomb Stalker. That's in one of the Deathwatch roleplay books.
So, I have I think I have all the Deathwatch roleplay books, and I did not know, we made that before I ever got, even that game even came out. And yes, I'm pretty sure. I know I didn't notice that it was in there. And I have not actually seen that in the book, so I don't know. You have to tell me which book and I'll go look, but I know what a Tombstalker is, and in truth, that's kind of where I got the idea a little bit. But I think the Tombstalker is considerably smaller. I think it's like maybe the size of a rhino or something. I don't know, but anyway, I just thought, you know, that would be more fitting than some giant.
Searle Harbor. The Tombstalker that 4K World make is very small. The one in Deathwatch dwarfs a rhino.
Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. Have you ever played Deathwatch RPG? Because I've never got a chance to play it. And I've got those books. I've got the Rogue Trader stuff. What's the other one? Well, maybe it's all Rogue Trader and Deathwatch. I even have like a collector's set of the Deathwatch RPG, but I've never got a chance to play. I've never played an RPG in my life, except, well, I
Searle
say
Harbor. Currently in a RP session yet. Smiley face.
Dark
we
Heresy.
did Dark Heresy RT Deathwatch and Only War.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, those are the books. Yeah, I have all of those actually. And you're currently doing that? Damn, dude, I would love to get in on something I learn how to play. The only game I ever played, you'll laugh at this. The only RPG I ever played was on a ship, on a Navy ship. I was a Marine, and ran into some guys and heard them talking about Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that, and I was, you know, something I always wanted to do. And it wasn't Dungeons and Dragons, it was, I believe it was Forgotten Realms, and it was something to do with, like, I think the title was Dark Sun or something like that, Forgotten Realms. I don't know, but basically it was like mostly around gladiatorial characters and things like that, you know, being enslaved and whatnot. And went to, you know, have a session with these guys, and it didn't go well because apparently my imagination is way too out there for these guys, and I guess they call it a one-shot now or whatever. So that's what the guy was basically trying to do to kind of get me broke in, level up, whatever. And so he stuck me, as I later found out, which is pretty normal, you know, naked, alone, and afraid inside of a dungeon room or something like that. And there was a goblin out, if I remember everything correctly, there was a goblin outside the door, and, or, you know, the only door that was there. It wasn't locked, apparently. I don't think I had to do any tests for that, but I had to fight the goblin barehanded. I ended up killing it, and I guess there was a treasure chest or something like that, but it was too heavy for me to move. And so this is where I got in trouble by the DM, I guess, because I was supposedly lawful neutral or something like that. And I said, well, I want to rip the goblin's head off. I'm going to hollow out its skull, and I'll, you know, use his, you know, what clothing he's got, you know, to fashion some straps to make it into like a purse or whatever, and I'll put as much as I can into this thing. And he's like, you can't do that. You're lawful neutral. And I was like, what? And it just went downhill from there, and I've never played again. Not because I didn't want to, but I just never found anybody to do it with. And so here I have all these books downstairs of, you know, Rogue Trader, Deathwatch, Only War, freaking, what is it, Dark Heresy. I have a Rifts book I just brought out of storage, along with, Vor the Maelstrom's a miniatures game. But Rifts was an RPG that I always wanted to play and never got a chance to. So I got all this stuff, and we have Dungeons and Dragons stuff, but the only thing we've even touched on that was the one board game, like the box set with miniatures and stuff, and it was okay, but I mean, you're limited on what you can do, you know, as far as leveling your character and things like that. So, and then like my Space Hulk game, that's how I play, is kind of in an RPG fashion. Just there's not really any narration. It's just like 40K kind of 3rd edition rules as far as movement and stuff like that. But then you use a 20-sided die because you're doing, you know, parrying and things like that. You know, it's not just, you know, shoot at the Gene Stealer and he dies because you got a hit roll. No, he gets a chance to dodge it because, you know, in the cinematic fiction, that's how it would be. But anyway, I'm getting way in the weeds, I guess. But it's, yeah, I'd love to play that sometime. It'd be amazing. I was on this site, you probably know it. Is it Roll D20 or something like that? And then I guess they got hacked or something like that, and I got all scared about my credit card information. So ever since I canceled the card when that happened, I stopped playing or stopped subscribing. So, but yeah, man, it's this hobby is, I've been involved in this since 1998, and it's the most addicting thing I've ever done, and I can't believe that I'm finally saying I'm done buying this new model that they're coming out with, you know, for the whatever this new Tyranid thing is. I've got so many Hive Tyrants, I don't need to freaking buy this thing. I'll just convert it, give it a tail, I'll make it out of green stuff, I don't care, you know. And it's not like that I'm playing anybody that's, you know, really into all that kind of stuff anyway.
Midwest Auto. How's it going?
It's going, man. It's going. Midwest Auto. Midwest Auto. Explain why you have that name. I'm curious. It's got me curious. I don't know why. Sounds like an auto parts store. Or maybe you do auto repair, or maybe you do like body work or something. That's interesting. Or I'm just really tired. Oh man. Can't believe school's starting up again Monday. College. Yeah, man, I want to get this. I've got so many chaos models. Oh yeah. I got to figure out. I've got 2 of these old out of print Cypher models. I got to figure out what to do with them.
Midwest Auto. No, I live in the Midwest and I work for GM. Also, I'm new to the hobby.
Right on. Well, don't make the mistake that myself and Harbor have, and sell your soul to the plastic and metal miniature gods, and end up with more stuff than you can possibly know what to do with, and spend a small fortune. What do you play? Or what are you trying to play? And I also have a YouTube you can check out that has more videos that have some helpful tips and things like that as well if you're interested. Same name. But we've got Black Legion I want to do. We've got Iron Warriors I want to do. The Plague Marines are going to be all the new Plague Marines, so I've got just as many Plague Marines as those
Midwest
box
Auto.
sets.
I'm already working on my second army.
Oh, you're done, dude. It's already got you. There's no going back now. Just remember the cardinal rule: don't ever paint your last model. When you do that, you die. There used to be a comic strip, an online comic strip back in the day when the internet was young.
Midwest Auto. I have Tau and now Black Templars.
Right on. Yeah, there used to be I can't remember the name of it, but you may know, Harbor. There was a comic strip online. The guy wore glasses, almost looked like a Family Guy guy, but he wore a ball cap. And he was looking for a friend one day. And he was like, "Hey, where's so-and-so?" And the guy goes, "He's dead." He goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "We painted his last mini." He goes, "Oh, never do that." Yeah, I've got every army. I mean, it's... And not just every army. I have more in the army that you could have to play with unless you're playing at apocalypse levels. And I'm not ashamed to say
Harbor.
that.
LOL. I returned signals on a Land Raider that was an old web comic.
Yeah. Is that what it was called? Turn signals on a Land Raider? Or wait a minute. Or was that just one of the comic strips? I don't know. Every time I think of it, for some reason in my head, Leisure Suit Larry pops up. But that's not even remotely the same thing. I guess I'm really showing my age. Turn signals on a Land Raider. Let me write that down. I want to look that up later. Where's my pencil? But yeah, anyway, we got all those Plague Marines with a bloated drone per box. So that's 12. Yeah, it's 12 boxes. So that's 12 boxes, 12 bloated drones. At least one Land Raider that I have for them, maybe two.
Midwest Auto. I am also in a small Warhammer. 4 people right now and we all have more than one army.
Hey, you're doing better than me, dude. I've got no one to play with except online with a friend of mine that lives about an hour away and doesn't have any armies, so we just play on Tabletop Simulator. Which is fun. I mean, you know, you can keep it simple and...
Midwest Auto. Group I got autocorrect.
That's alright. But it's, yeah, I don't know. I used to be, like, back in the day, in Okinawa, Japan, I was the president of a 40-man gaming club. And then I stepped down to vice president because I was just deploying too much and I just couldn't be around. But we did, man. We had tournaments, narrative tournaments. One, you know, the favorite story I like to tell, as a matter of fact, I don't know where that book is. It has the pictures in it. But anyway, the biggest game I ever played on was a 8-foot by 16-foot table, and it we had eight players on each side. And the reason I like to talk about this game is because I was the only guard player at the time, because everybody said guard couldn't win, and I really didn't like the models. And then it was like as if, you know, somebody overheard my thoughts, and the Armageddon Steel Legion came out, and I fell in love with them right away. And this is back when they had the really cool army deals and stuff, and they had this guy named Neil at the War Store. If you guys know who he is or was, I guess he doesn't do it anymore, or at least he doesn't do it online. He used to sell, you know, Games Workshop stuff at a discounted price, but what he was doing for us was he was opening up the army boxes and selling us what we wanted at that price, you know, at the same discounted price. So you didn't need, you know, you weren't getting stuff you didn't want or didn't need. And so now I have, like, God, I don't know, I think there's 15 tanks in the Armageddon Steel Legion army I have, and I think I have another 20 something tanks in my Krieg Death Corps. But anyway, so we had our own website and everything.
Midwest Auto. The armies in the group are Tau armies, my Black Templars. We have Orcs, Imperial Guard, Sisters of Battle, and Alpha Legion and Necrons.
Nice, Alpha Legion. That's one I want to do. I just like the color. I just want to find a way to make the scales, you know. I mean, I know I can do it. I just, what I need to do is I need to take a Space Marine, one Space Marine, if you will, spend the time, scale him out, probably with green stuff or something like that, or maybe even plasticard, or gosh, why can't I even think right now? Whatever. And then go ahead and cast him, I think would be the way to do it. But I like the scale look instead of just painting them in that color. But we had 8 people on each side. We spent 2 months to come
Searle Harbor. Right, that took forever, but I found the picture. Do you have any of the Black Crusade books? Page 370 of the Black Crusade core book.
Yes, that I think so. It's downstairs. I tell you what, if you guys don't go anywhere, I'll go down there and check real quick. I'll be right back. That's it, man, right there. 370. Hold on. Move this stuff out of the way. Right there. Tombstalker. Oh, I see it. Yeah, I see the rhino in his...
Searle Harbor. Way bigger than the 4K World Tiny one.
Well, yeah.
Searle Harbor. Cost that's a rhino, lol.
That's probably... Then ours is probably about that size. Let's see here. Well, I wonder why they made the Forge World one so small. I don't understand. Believe it or not, I've never actually opened this book. I don't know if you can hear that. That's how new this... I've had this book forever along with the rest of them. It's never been opened. Oh man. Fresh and new still. Is that a Flesh Terror? No. Yeah, I don't know how any of this works, but I sure would love to play sometime. Of course, I'd probably have to be a salamander. Yeah, there's almost nothing I don't have. I mean, I'm even sitting here looking at my Rogue Trader book. Very, rule book, the first edition, second edition books. Yeah. Almost nothing I don't have. But, yeah, anyway, we had like I said, we had a website. You had 2 months to get your army together and post it online so everybody could plan, right? And so, pretty much it was, Imperial versus Chaos. And Orcs were siding with Chaos, so that was a thing, and nobody really cared about that. But the goal, or the whole thing was there was going to be literally we were on a 96-hour pass of 4 days, okay? It was a general's battle. No sleep. You had, I think, 2 or 3 minutes to go to the bathroom, and you could not leave the room except, for going to the bathroom, and all the food would be delivered to the room. You guys are going to love this story, I'm telling you. And all of our wives had gone to some resort or whatever, that was like an hour or two away. So you had no ride. You basically got dropped off. So there was no way you could run away from this battle. And to be honest with you, I mean, I'm trying to be nice about this, but most of the guys there on the opposing team for me, they weren't the greatest guys to play with. They were just kind of jerks half the time. Constantly trying to, pull a fast one on somebody, cheating or whatever. So you just had to do some things. Hoping my little girl doesn't wake up. Anyway, I had guard, right? And and of course everybody on my team's like, oh God, why are you bringing guard? Bring your Space Marines, blah, blah, blah. And I had Dark Angels for Space Marines, and they'd never lost a battle. But I wanted to play the guard. And so I had some Sentinels and things like that, and everybody on my team, all 7 players, so we're 8 on each team, their whole plan was to deep strike in. Okay. So that left me and my Imperial Guard army at the end of 16 foot of table with 6 inches of deployment from the table edge to make it all the way forward. And I think back then you could not bring in your reserves or your deep strikes until the second turn, if I'm not mistaken. And it was on a 4 or better, so there was no guarantee. And along the way, we had it set up where there were fortifications there that had, like, Lehman Russ turrets, the top turrets, like the battle cannons. I think we had some las cannons that we made. I mean, they weren't real, but, and if you were able to capture those, then you could use them. Well, we roll the dice, and, well, let me back up. So everybody's got their armies out. And that's when we noticed that this one guy, his name's Rob, and that's all I'm going to say. basically he did not come with the Chaos Forces or even Orcs that he had said that he was going to do, and I think he had put Chaos on the website. He showed up with Gene Stealers, Tyranids, but all Gene Stealers, and it was just like, dude, Tyranids are not going to side with anybody, okay? So, but we, you know, for the essence of the game and just so that everybody could play, we really didn't have a choice but to let him play. He was just trying to pull a fast one. We had also said that if you could find any rules out of any edition whatsoever, you could proxy a model, it didn't matter, you could play with it. But you were limited, I think we were limited back then to 2,500 points. So that wasn't a lot of models, I guess, but this one guy, he made an Orc Gargant out of just, God, it was hideous. Out of styrofoam and things like that, just toothpicks holding this thing, you know, blocks of styrofoam together, and he put a couple of googly eye things on it. And then he had a little bit of orcs at the bottom to make up his troop and HQ choices, I guess, because that was a requirement as well. But not much. And so that was the bulk of, or you know, that Gargant was the bulk of his army. Well, we rolled for deployment. They got to go inside of the fortress, which really sucked. So that means that they already owned, you know, the best defensive area that there was. We didn't, but then we got first turn. But the only person on the board is me. So the only thing, and all my vehicles had this, but the only thing that I had that could even reach that far, because back then hunter killer missiles were unlimited range, was my Sentinels. And so, well, did I have them on the other vehicles? I think I did. I don't know. I took a Sentinel and I poked out from a tree, and just for the hell of it, fired the Sentinel. I mean, you know, guard needed, I think, a 5 or better to hit. Well, it hit, and I shot at the Gargant, and it hit. Well, everybody started laughing a little bit and like, oh, big deal, you know, what's a strength 8 missile gonna do? So I roll a dice. I mean, I'm kind of like, you know, well, it's just a shot, you know, because you get to do, you know, move them and do all that stuff, whatever. And so I roll the dice and I get a 6. Okay. Well, now it wasn't so funny anymore, and we don't know the rules behind this thing, and so we're trying to look at it, and everybody's looking at these rules he's got, and I think it was 2nd edition Titan rules or something weird, I don't know. And I just sat back and didn't say a word. I just waited for people to tell me what to do because I didn't want to be involved in any type of argument or whatever. Well, they tell me to roll the dice again because that was just, you know, a void shield. And now we need to see what happened to the void shield. So I roll it. Void shield goes down because I got another 6. You're not going to believe this. I believe it worked out to almost 15 rolls of 6s in a row. Not once did I break that roll, a 6 stride. It was 6 after 6 after 6. And what ended up happening is I dropped all of its shields, and then you had to roll on this catastrophic damage chart thing, and it blew up. Well, it didn't just blow up. It blew up to where nothing could be used, but then it also fell, and you had to roll a scatter dice to see where it would go, and then anything underneath it would be crushed. Well, it falls over on the remainder of this guy's orc army, or what, you know, the rest of his orc army, and crushes the orc army. So the orcs are done, and half of a guy's Khorne Berserker Chaos army, like a full half of it. That's how large this thing was. For 15 points, I wiped out an entire army and, you know, half of somebody else's. And that guy had to sit there for 4 days and couldn't even go home because of where we were located at. I mean, couldn't walk home. It was ridiculous far. And he tried to take the Gargant off the table, and we were like, no, that thing is terrain now. It sits there, and then it became the drink coaster, the food tray, you name it, you know. And man, our Space Marines, our Space Marine players were just horrible. They wouldn't listen to what I had to say. They deep striked in the wrong stinking areas, and every time I advised against it, and they're like, no, it's gonna be
Pearl
fine.
Harbor. That Sentinel pilot sounds like MVP LOL.
I'm telling you, man, it was amazing. But I mean, I'll put it this way: by the end of the first day, the only person on my team left standing was me. All of our Space Marines that deep striked in got wiped out, mainly because of those gene stealers. And but at the end of the fourth day, my guard were the last thing standing on the table, and we always played Annihilation. Like, there was no turn limits. It was down to the last man. And I had all my Sentinels still, my Basilisk, and I think one Lehman Russ and a couple squads of guard. And you know, it's the greatest victory I've ever had. That was the biggest debacle you can imagine. So, but it's I don't know, it's a good memory to have, I guess. But I've never played games like that again. I played in one tournament in Savannah, Georgia, and long time ago, and it was not a good experience because there was a guy there that was just yelling and screaming at this young kid. Like, I think he couldn't have been more than 8 years old, and the guy was like 20 something. I ended up getting in the guy's face and, you know, basically saying, if you open your mouth to this kid one more time, I'm gonna close it for you. And then I forfeited my game so I could play with the kid, and then I forfeited that game so he could win and have a good time. And they gave me, that's right, I got a Land Raider out of it and a calendar for being the best sportsman. I remember that. So that was kind of cool. But again, Land Raiders only cost $50 back then, so not $100 now. But yeah, I've got all these books, dude. I didn't even totally forgot about Black Crusade. Just can't believe I've never opened this book. Did not know. Man, that's crazy that thing is so large. Let me see here. Ooh, that's some nice artwork right there. What'd you say, 370? I think you said 370. Yeah, there it is. Let's see here. I mean, look at that thing. Yeah, that's probably the size of mine. I mean, depicted in this picture, because the one they have at Forge World.
Pearl Harbor. Best Sportsman is absolutely the place you should want to win at a tournament.
I agree. Yep. I didn't even know, like, I was there visiting family from overseas, and I was still stationed in Japan, and I just was like, well, I need something to do, and you know, while they're working, so I found that tournament, and I had brought my stuff with me, and I brought my guard army with me. And that was another thing. I remember that when I brought my guard army, I wasn't there to win or anything. I was just, you know, there to play. But as soon as I laid it out on the table, I realized I had made a mistake. And hold on a second. I don't know if that's my little girl or my little boy. Well, anyway, I realized I had made a mistake because immediately I realized nobody else had their models out, and everybody came over to look at my stuff and started making changes to their roster. And I didn't know you could do that and everything else, and I didn't have time to change anything. And I mean, you know, not as a bragging point, but I think had the other stuff not happened with that little kid and that idiot, I probably would have won that tournament. I was tabling people inside of 2 turns and things like that, and I wasn't, you know, trying to be that guy. I mean, 3rd edition really wasn't that kind of, you know, you really needed to know what you were doing to be able to do that anyway. But I just think that they were used to playing each other and not playing somebody that had, well, that, and I was the only fully painted army there too. Now I remember that. So that probably, I don't know why that intimidates people, but it does. I don't know, it's weird. It's just a game, but yeah, I can't believe Forge World's model is so much, because if I remember the model.
Pearl Harbor. Third was very basic, not a lot of gotcha rules.
Yeah, exactly. And you could always, even from Okinawa, we could call up Games Workshop customer service and get a ruling. You can't do that now. I mean, the facts are just as confusing as the freaking codexes. But I'm almost positive the Forge World model, they show it crawling over top of the Land Raider or something like that. It's definitely not this big. Yeah, I don't know what half of these stats mean. I don't know what WP means or FEL. 90 wounds? Holy hell. That's crazy. I don't even think my Warlord Titans have that many wounds. Oh, I'm pretty sure they don't. I don't know, do they? Let me look on Battlescribe real quick. Let's see. Let me save this roster. Nah, I'm not gonna bother saving it. Let's see. Is that a force? Titan Legions, where are you? Okay. We need super heavy. Where is it? Sometimes I don't understand how Battlescribe works. I know I just updated it. I don't know if they didn't take that out. Hold on. Oh, that's why, because I don't have... There it is. Okay, Warlord Titan. 275 power
Cyril
level.
Harbor. Willpower. Psychic power / resisting / morale, fellowship, bartering, making people like you and social interactions in general.
Gotcha. Okay. Alright, Warlord Titan, 275 power level, 5,500 points. Good lord. Let's see, view selection. I stand corrected. The Warlord Titan has 120 wounds, 8 void shields, 2+ save. Why would the what? Why would the ballistic skill be 3+? What? Come on.
Cyril Harbor. The Tomb Stalker has 5 fellowship LOL. It's D100 based. He's not making any friends anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm sure. Too busy poking people in the eye with his feet. Let's see if they have the Tomb Stalker on Battlescribe. I'm sure, I mean, clearly it can't be any remotely close to the Warlord Titan, I wouldn't think. Let's see, Necrons, where are you? Necrons, super heavy. Okay. It's not in here. Does it not exist anymore? Or did they call it something else?
Cyril Harbor. I don't even think it's a super heavy.
Seraptic heavy
Cyril
construct?
Harbor. It's about the size of a rhino.
Huh. What the heck's a Seraptic Heavy Construct? I don't even know. Alright, well let's see if we can find it. We'll just... I don't know.
Searle Harbor. Big crab from Forge World.
I think I've seen it. Alright, let's see. It's gotta be a heavy something, I think. Canoptic Doomstalker? No, that's not it. Tomb Sentinel? Is that it? No, Tomb Stalker. What the hell's a Tomb Sentinel?
Searle Harbor. Canoptek Tomb Stalker yet.
There it is. It's an elite. Okay. So it's got 9 wounds. I don't even know what I would. How would I even? I guess I would just, to be fair, I would play with it with the same weapons and everything as my Warlord. That's kind of what I built it for, was to fight that thing. Tesseract Vault, Silent King. Let's see, views. Silent King. 16 wounds. That's lame. Tesseract Vault. 30 wounds. I have one of those. I've not put it together because I need to figure out how to magnetize it so that it can be open and closed. And I want to I think what I want to do is I want to make a cast of the Catan that's in there. I have 2 Nightbringers, but I don't know that you can bring 2 of those. I'm not even sure what they count it. What are they? Oh, they're an elite. Maybe you can. I don't know. Let's find out. Maximum 1. Ah, you bastard. Actually, I have 3 of those.
Searle Harbor. Probably run it as a Seraptek Heavy Construct.
Okay, let me look at that. Let's see. Yeah, it still only got 28 wounds to 120, no void shields. It's not very fast. The range on its weapons aren't very good. Man, whatever happened to the old vehicle design rules, you know what I mean?
Searle Harbor. It's the biggest thing they have. Sad face.
Yeah. I know. Oh well. Although, I mean, to be honest, if you played it right and had the right kind of board like I'm gonna make, you might be able to maneuver that thing around. I was gonna have mine like literally be able to tunnel into the ground and stuff. I mean, it makes sense to me, like give it like a deep strike or tunneling rule, you know? Like what are the what's it called? Trigon. That thing. Or Moloch. Well, I am going to call it a night. It's 1 in the morning. Glad to meet you, Harbor. Hope to talk to you again soon. I'm not as regular as most Twitch guys because I got school and kids and stuff, but try to be on here as I can and definitely keep people updated on my progress or whatever. But you know, you can also go over to my Discord if you want and You usually can reach me there or something. And if you guys are ever doing anything, if you do your sessions online for Death Watch, I'd love to sit in on one and see how it works. Let me see if I can get on YouTube the invite should, or the link should work. Actually, it should work on Twitch too. I don't know. It's free, it doesn't cost anything. Ooh. Oh, I guess you already did it. Right on.
Searle Harbor. Yeah, I've joined.
Sweet. Well, right on, brother. I'm gonna get out of here. And again, great to meet you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Talk to all you guys. Thanks, everybody.
Searle Harbor. Take it easy, dude.